Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, Jeffers is here, and he's coming up. And then Bo Dietl's going to come in, and we talk about the Wolf of Wall Street, which Bo is in. And I'm sort of interested. I haven't paid much attention to it before, and I don't know what it's about. I mean, it's about some guy, right? That I should know about.
Absolutely. Dagan actually knows a ton about it because I read the book and everything.
What was it about now?
It is about Jordan Belfort, who started and ran Stratton Oakmont. It was a bucket shop brokerage operation.
What does
out
that mean,
on Long
bucket
Island.
shop?
They were basically selling fake-a-loose securities to, grandma and grandpa.
Oh, okay.
They were running a fraud operation, pump and dump scheme.
Pump and dump.
And he was heavy into drugs. He was a Quaalude addict. He was real into hookers, despite being married to, Bo will tell you, the most beautiful woman he's ever seen in his life.
And he still was hot for the hookers.
Yeah.
He's sober, and he's divorced, and now he's making millions of dollars, Jordan Belfort, off this movie.
And what did Bo do for him?
Bo ran his security. He handles security for Jordan Belfort, and so...
Because I saw that creep Gasparino yesterday interviewing Bo.
Creep.
Gasparino was trying to make Bo look like he was doing something bad.
Oh. Was he? I didn't see the interview.
Oh, yeah, Gasparino's a creep.
I mean, he installed the security systems in Jordan Belfort's house. He was overseeing stuff like that.
What's the matter, Warner?
Well, I'd say you shouldn't make Bo feel bad.
But Gasparino's a creep. Gasparino's one of these guys, you say anything about it, you make fun of him, he folds up like a cheap lawn chair. So, he's just joking around.
Sensitive. He's a sensitive.
No, he's not a bad guy, actually.
No, he's fine.
But he's a...
Good reporter.
But he's a...
Oh, no.
Oh, too late now.
Hey, this is Bo's big moment. He's in the movie.
Yeah, let's
of course.
Part of real life.
All right, Bo.
And then we're going to talk sports with Vinny from Queens, Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Tony Powell, and Mike Gunzelman. And then Mike Breen is coming in.
Yeah.
This is really disturbing this morning. I'm down in makeup with Teresa, and Dagan was there, and Carly, and so on. And they were perving on Mike Breen, Dagan and Carly.
Wow. All right.
I mean...
Happily married man.
I understand that, but it was tawdry to listen to it. Talking about how hot Breen is, and
Carly's quote of the week is, what is it, Carly? That salt and pepper really does something.
Yeah.
Yeah, fooling and drooling in the makeup room.
Is that what you said, Carly? Or?
I said that salt and pepper really gets me.
Yeah, okay. So that now when she finds out that Breen has arm tattoos,
All right, forget about it.
then peach history. So anyway, 8 minutes after. So Rob just sends me an email yesterday, and he said, "Could I do salmonella?" I said no.
What?
The night before, no.
Come on.
What do you mean,
Sanders
no?
are come from the
Why
heart. Let's top it every house except for the juice. The answer is no.
You are just...
What?
You're going to ruin Christmas.
Nobody. It's
Scrooge.
not. I've heard it for 25 years. It's not funny.
People love it.
The people love it.
People
I don't
love
care.
it. Oh, they love it.
Well, they're not going to hear it here.
Oh, you're a bad person.
I feel like that Gimp kid from the Christmas Carol.
So I said, have Dice come in.
Yeah, I'm over here now.
Hey, Dice.
So what will you be doing today?
I got a Christmas Carol for you.
Yeah, okay.
I saw Mommy doing Santa Claus. Ow!
That's more like it.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention yesterday, Larry Lujack, one of the great rock and roll disc jockeys. Well, he's a radio person, super jock they called him in Chicago. Did you ever meet him?
No.
So he died. He'd been living in Santa Fe, New Mexico for the past 15 years or so. But he was a huge deal in Chicago, Larry Lujack, and he died, and I wanted to mention that. So because he was revered by a lot of folks, and he was one of the original, wasn't necessarily a shock jock, but he was close to. And then I met him once. He came to New York when he had his book Super Jock. And I remember he came. I was over to NBC, and he came and sat in the studio, and I don't know what happened. He never said much.
A couple of lines?
Mm-hmm. No, but anyway, I was God bless him. So one of the great jocks, and one of the original rock and roll disc jockeys, Larry Lujack. So What do you have coming this morning? What was your name again?
Me?
Yeah, Dagan. Yeah.
That's her.
McDonald's is sitting on 10 million pounds of some unsold chicken wings.
Ugh.
Man, that'd be good.
I wonder, what do you have?
Well, Kobe Bryant broke his knee.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So now the question is not if and when he'll come back, will he ever come back? And if he does, really, how good could he be? 35 years old.
I'll be darned.
So.
I was looking for Thursday night football. How come there wasn't any game?
No, that's it. They want to even it out. Everybody will play on, except for one Monday night game, Monday. That's it. Everybody will play Sunday because the season ends a week from Sunday.
I wasn't informed of that, though.
Uh-huh.
So I planned my day around Thursday night football.
Oh.
And then there wasn't anything. Then I didn't get to see it.
Oh.
That's a crusher.
So then trying to watch all the stuff last night, it was all Duck Dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere.
And it's all, the Sarah Palins of the world and the rest of these idiots still screaming about a First Amendment deal. Well, yeah, he has the First Amendment right to say whatever he feels like saying. But the reality is, that's what I don't understand. A&E has no obligation to keep them on,
Right.
nor do the sponsors to support them. It's like if somebody says something to me and I don't like it, then I don't say, well, that's okay because you have a First Amendment right to say that. I either punch them in the mouth or I get Bo to do it. And so do you. I mean, if somebody says something to you don't like, you don't tolerate it. Why would you? So he has every right in the world to feel any way he wants to feel and to express it anyway. That's not the issue, but they're trying to make it the issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
some people are, yeah.
They're done, that's all. I mean, man, this PC world, and he'd have been fine if he just said, wasn't down with, but I mean, just I don't want to start hearing getting into detail about it.
Yes.
Really?
Talk about.
I
actually Anna Hannity. Hannity's show is pretty good. This new show is. They moved to 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Yes.
Got a little fire in him,
Mm-hmm. He doesn't care anymore.
But I actually heard Hannity say the word vagina and anus.
Right.
Oh, man.
Here it is like 5 days before Christmas, and this is what we're subjected to.
Kind of show.
Yeah, it is.
So he was pretty. So he seemed like he was fairly worked up about that.
Yeah.
Then he's got some. Somehow has got some affection for Sarah Palin, she's fine. She's had enough mean things said about her. Doesn't need me to say anything, but it's just not. It's not Doris Kearns Goodman, but maybe it's not supposed to be.
I don't think it's.
Maybe it's fine. So
probably not the goal.
Yeah,
that's fine. It probably isn't.
No.
What's coming up with your briefing, Bernie?
We have. They were crying, literally crying on the set of the Daily Show last night. Jon Stewart, and I'll tell you why. And also, naughty Christina Applegate, and this year, Jimmy Kimmel's year in unnecessary censorship.
Well, what happened with the Daily Show?
Aha, I piqued your interest. No, well, it's sad. Let's put it that way. I'm talking literally, they were crying.
I don't like to hear that.
Very, very bad.
Yeah.
All right, all the stuff coming up. Carl Jeffers, Bo Dietl, Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Tony Powell, Mike Gunzelman, and Mike Breen.
Wow. Yeah.
Dice Clay.
A lineup.
And Tony Powell. Man, you can't get over that. I mean, come on here. Time for the news now. And with that, here's Conor McShane. Morning, Conor.
Hey, good morning, Iman. So some of the other historic theaters in the West End of London are now being checked out today after that disaster yesterday. At least 7 people seriously injured. Total of 88 injuries reported. The ceiling partially collapsing during a show at the at London's Apollo Theatre.
There's quite a few people, obviously, in shock and stuff, but we stayed calm. We weren't scrambling. We weren't pulling at each other. We weren't pushing. We were just walking quite steadily out, but close to each other. We knew we were close to each other.
Part of the balcony also fell. Again, 7 of the injuries are described as serious. President Obama has now deployed a small military contingent, 45 people, to South Sudan. Provide more security there at the American embassies, but a lot of violence in that country. So the president's letter to Congress said the personnel are ready for combat, but their mission is just to protect U.S. citizens and property in the country. The president also expected to sign a wide-ranging defense bill today, $633 million. One of the things that legislation does is crack down on sexual assault in the military. requires a civilian review. For example, if a commander were to refuse to prosecute a case, requires anybody convicted of sexual assault to be kicked out of the military. And the other thing about the president, he and his family leave for Hawaii tonight, spend Christmas there. No return date announced, but the Obamas are expected to stay through New Year's Day out in Hawaii.
Yeah, I see our old friend Al Goldstein died.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
Well, he was in a hospice someplace out in Brooklyn or the Bronx. Or
Yep, it was here in New York. You're right.
Yeah. It was a very ignominious ending for the famed pornographer.
we used to have him on all the time. We
Absolutely.
did,
Yeah, he was a friend. He was a pal. He was. I mean, he was a character. Remember, he sounded like he had an iron lung towards the end there.
Well, Rob used to do an impression of him, but
yeah,
he was too busy working on that salmonella, which will not be happening today. For sure.
But he was a fame. He had the cable TV pornography show, which I think the I-Man used to appear on.
Midnight Blue.
Yeah.
Then he was getting these feuds with people, remember?
Right.
He was really a revolting person. I don't know why did I like him? I'm not sure.
He was a New York character.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He'd get a picture of somebody and
Put
then
great caricatures in that magazine.
right.
I remember that one. Oh God, he was brutal.
Pleasure himself on people's pictures and put it on TV.
Yeah, he was really just.
He knew how to get revenge.
Oh man.
Yo, that was nasty,
That
bro.
guy, you don't want to make an enemy with him.
All right, 16 after the hour. Let's do business news. That's sponsored by Short Hills Aviation, and here with it is Dagan McDowell. Good morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Al. Godspeed.
Revolting person. Go to that great porn film in the sky.
No, he ain't going to the sky.
What?
Depends how you look at
Bring
it.
a fan. That's what I would say.
Oh man.
That's where he's headed.
Remember his kid? His kid went to Yale or Harvard or somewhere. Didn't his
Right.
kid hate him or something?
Well, he was embarrassed. His dad was
hated him.
His big fat 60-year-old dad was fornicating on cable TV. The kid was embarrassed.
Hey, my dad's a lawyer. What does your dad do? Up at Harvard.
Remember Al he'd get naked on.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was really rough.
He draws cartoons.
Oh hey, this just in: 77 WABC's. That's our radio station we're on in New York. They're having a big game party featuring Daughtry.
Oh.
Hey.
And that will take place Sunday, January 19th at the Roseland Ballroom here in New York. You can come out and party with the WABC while watching the playoff games. I was making fun of Leslie yesterday for Daughtry. I said, well, Ruben Studdard wasn't available.
Hey, he's big. He was just he performed on Jimmy
Daughtry's
Kimmel
big.
about a week ago.
That's what she told me. She said that he's had lots of hits.
Yeah.
It's he, but it's a band. But there's a guy who was on American Idol, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's done well, and she managed to get him for this big party, and I was making fun of her, and she took exception to that, so I guess. But there'll be food and drinks and your chance to win tickets to the big game. They have to call it the big game because they identify it as a Super Bowl and they get sued or something.
Right.
But so keep listening for more details. I'm not sure what details will be forthcoming.
Could be
What more would you need to know?
other than that.
I just
right.
told you.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to this stupid party, and he'll be there, the band, Daughtry. And in fact, I went to iTunes. They actually have a new album or single. So I felt bad by making fun of Leslie, but well, most of the time she has a pretty good sense of humor, and other times, of course, she doesn't. So it turns into Charles Gasparino.
A lot of people.
Or Eric Bolling. So why is he making fun of me? I don't like that.
I could be so negative.
It's 19 after the hour. Time for Sports
Can I
sponsored
do
by.
my business news real quick?
I thought you did do it.
No, sorry, I didn't.
Didn't I introduce you?
Yeah, but we were laughing about Al Goldstein dying.
Wake up.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Dagan, you think it's funny? My friend Al
I
Goldstein
was
died?
revering him,
It's a
actually.
celebration.
No, I love
remember
Al
him.
Goldstein, man. I
tribute.
shook his hand at the airport when
Let's
I saw him at JFK once.
Let's take a selfie.
You better clean it a couple of times.
No, and he offered to let me shake something else, and I declined.
Wow.
Let me do business news quickly. All right, right. 11-point gain for the Dow, still enough for a new record. The futures are higher. The vote to confirm Janet Yellen as the next Federal Reserve chief is now delayed until early January. And McDonald's is sitting on 10 million pounds of unsold Mighty Wings. Yeah. The limited time offer of these tasty little chicken bites in the fall didn't go so well. They were about $1 a piece, too expensive. Now Mickey D's is going to have to discount the wings to unload them, which they're sitting in cold storage, by the way.
It's 20 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports now. Sports sponsored by Pill of Spoilers. And here with that is Warner Wolf. What's going on, Warner?
All right, and are we watching the end of 35-year-old Kobe Bryant? Came back 6 games ago after tearing his Achilles tendon in April, broke his bone above his kneecap Tuesday night in the game against the Grizzlies. So maybe or maybe not he returns in February or March, and if he does, how effective could he be? Here's Mike D'Antoni.
He's too much of a competitor to do that. Now, if he decides to do that, there's a discussion. But no, I think he'll be back in 6 weeks, and he'll be hunting for some bear.
Hunting for some bear. Kobe.
People thought Peyton Manning was done, remember?
Oh, that's true.
How are they doing, the Lakers?
12-14.
So D'Antoni still got the job, though, huh?
Yeah, 2-4 since Kobe came back. So,
right.
Last night, the Thunder 8 in a row. They go 21-4, beat the Bulls 107-95, 32 for Durant on a 13-for-20 night. When Carmelo Anthony gets 32 points, he takes 30 shots. That's the difference.
What the hell was that again now?
Well, Kevin Durant scored 32 points last night. He hit 13 out of 20 shots.
Yeah.
When Carmelo Anthony gets 32 points, he takes 30 shots to get 32 points.
Wow.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm trying to do the math.
Well,
how much does a shot count for, 2?
Sometimes 3.
Okay.
There's 2 hectares in an acre.
Yeah. I'm saying he takes 10 more shots to get the same amount of points as Kevin Durant.
Just say that.
Yes.
Rather than making it an SAT problem.
That's right.
Professor Wolf, will this be in the final?
And the Spurs, without Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili, they still beat the Warriors 104-102. They go 20.
What were they?
Parker has a knee problem, but they just decided to sit Duncan and Ginobili, give them a rest. They figured they could beat the Warriors without him, and they did.
Wow.
And you asked yesterday if that was a hometown call for LeBron when it looked like he fouled Paul George. Remember on the three-pointer?
Yes.
That was Breen's game. Well, here was George after the game.
Nothing was called. I got pushed in the back. Thought it was a foul. It wasn't.
Yeah, so maybe there was a hometown call. And we all heard the Knicks call yesterday on Andrea Bargnani's bonehead play at the end of overtime. But here was the call after the shot by the Bucks announcer, Tony McLaughlin and Jim Paschke, on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
He shouldn't have shot it. He shouldn't have shot it. Oh, my gosh. That's just not how you hit the
gosh, what in the world he had?
That's a knucklehead right there.
That's a knucklehead.
Right there. 23 after the hour here in the Imus Wayne program. Please welcome now to the program our old friend, Dice Clay. Morning, Dice.
I'm over here now.
Yeah.
I got a song for you. It's called I Saw Mommy Doing Santa Claus. I saw Mommy doing Santa Claus like the filthy animal she is. Underneath the Christmas tree where you could plainly see Mommy giving Santa some gizzy. Then I heard Mama tell old Santa Claus that she wasn't fully satisfied. She was laying on her back with her hands on Santa's sack. Mama did old Santa Claus last night. I heard Mommy telling Santa Claus that he wasn't really doing it right. She got one of Santa's elves to get some batteries off the shelf and stuck them in this buzzing thing that she used on herself. Then I heard Mama tell old Santa Claus, I always thought that you were just a queer, but being naughty sure feels nice, and I wish it could be twice, but Santa only comes but once a year.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot better than salmonella.
Over here now.
It's 24 after the hour. Bernie and the Breifing's coming up.
It's all about you. As long as you're fine, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Well, by the way, isn't that the case with everybody?
Don King called. He wants his hair back.
Just 21 to the yard. You look like you've been electrocuted. Really do. Wow. Who told you that was a good idea?
Your beautiful, lovely wife.
Is that you told him that was a...
Well, I didn't style it for him, but it looks better off his face, and he's cute. I mean, he looks like, one of the Backstreet Boys or something, right?
It's 21 till the hour.
That's all I need in my life is
That's
her.
a compliment? It gives him an extra inch, and we all could use that, right?
I don't know. So as... Bernie Breifing, and that's sponsored by My Pillow. Good morning, B.
Morning, boss. You may be sick of it by now, but Anchorman 2 is out. Christina Applegate last night on Conan O'Brien talking about Christmas. Take a listen.
What about Christmas music? Is there a lot of Christmas? Are you into Christmas music? Because I find that people are very divided. Some people love it, and some people kind of can't stand it.
I can take it for a minute. I always find the strange lyrics sometimes that don't make any sense to me. Like, the one that freaks me out is I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Because she's such a skank, right? I mean, what a skank.
Because you know what? They used to confuse me because I've had people later on explain it to me. But when I was...
and how do they know the answer? Because it's not in the lyrics. There's no indication that it's Daddy dressed up as Santa Claus. No, it's her being a skanky hoe is what it is.
Wow. Kelly Bundy sure has grown up.
Yeah. That's a good observation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, amusing.
Very astute.
Yeah.
Who'd you rather, Christina Applegate or Christina Aguilera? You pondered that for a while, boss. Now, last night they were crying on...
You are so dumb. You just hurt my feelings.
I know this is going to make you cry also, in addition to having bruised feelings, is that John Oliver had his last night on The Daily Show last night. He's moving to HBO, and they literally sat down and did a tribute, and at the end, he couldn't even participate in the wacky hijinks. He just broke down and bawled. But in the meantime, Jon Stewart played a little montage of some of a tender moment following these tributes, and
he really is brilliantly talented.
He is. He's very good.
Wow.
You'll see him on HBO. And finally, boss, Jimmy Kimmel last night on Barbara Walters' Most Fascinating Person. Take a listen to him.
The most fascinating person of 2013 was Hillary Clinton. This was Barbara Walters' 19th and final Most Fascinating special. She is officially done finding people fascinating. But because it was the last one, she took a look back at some of the most fascinating of all the fascinating people, including the famous diet doctor, Robert Atkins.
But I best recall my interview with Dr. Robert Atkins. What do you say to doctors who say that a high-fat diet is very bad for your heart?
Well, I say that they are right if that high-fat diet has a lot of carbohydrates along with it.
4 months later, he slipped on an icy New York sidewalk, suffered severe head trauma, and died.
But he looked great. Turns out he could have eaten bread after all.
And that's the Christmas spirit.
But it's just not right.
No.
That's not right.
Nope. That's what I'm saying.
25 till the hour. Carl Jeffers is coming up, and then we'll talk with Bo Dietl about the Wolf of Wall Street. Then Vinny from Queens will talk sports, a lot of sports. And then, speaking of sports, Mike Breen will be here.
Yeah.
Dagan and Carly already perving on Mike, so maybe a little uncomfortable down there in the down there in the makeup area, but nobody spilled anything, so I guess we're fine.
Yeah, jumping and humping.
That's my program. I got this new deal from Starbucks.
Yeah.
That is a protein bistro box.
Oh, wow.
And it's not bad.
That's good in the morning. Get your protein.
I guess. Please welcome to the Imus Wayne program our old friend Carl Jeffers, who is a political and social pundit.
Whoa.
Good morning, Mr. Jeffers. How are you?
Don. I'm just fine. Good to be with you today.
So what did you wake up this morning all exercised about?
Well, actually, not so well. The last thing I'd like to mention I am exercised about, because that has to do with Christmas. But before that, just mentioning twice, because we've had in the last 2 months really so much that was symbolic about America. And there's one thing, we celebrated the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Yeah. And, you know, we covered so much, and there was so much information, so we don't need to rehash that. But the one, for me, the most lasting piece of information that I learned during all of those wonderful documents documentaries that makes you pause a bit is that today only 1/3 of all Americans today were actually alive at the time when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And it just shows the movement of time and the pendulum. And the fact is, Don, if John F. Kennedy had never been assassinated...
I'm listening to you.
Okay, but you're enjoying that Starbucks bistro thing.
No, I'm trying to get my peanut butter open. And where the hell is Carly? What are you doing?
Yeah, Carly, please, Carly.
Hold on a second, Carl.
No problem.
Didn't you go back to get me salt?
But then I was told that you didn't need salt
What?
anymore. I was told that you didn't need salt anymore, so I came back.
Go back and now do
Saltless.
Saltless.
Do we have any of those little plastic knives?
Yes. One's right in front of you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks, Carly.
Mm-hmm.
Where were we?
What were we saying now?
I was only mentioning that if John F. Kennedy had never been assassinated, had lived a full, normal life to his full life expectancy, he would still probably be dead by now. And so it's just interesting, the time pendulum, but only 1/3 of us even were alive.
How old would he be now?
He would be about 95, 96. So so it's just interesting to consider that. And then we had, of course, the death of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about the fact that for me, the greatest legacy that Mandela left was the fact that he lived. And what I mean by that is that it's not the 27 years in prison, it's not being released and the symbol of ending apartheid.
No.
It was that he lived after that to become the president and actually supervise and coordinate the implementation of the end of apartheid. And it was not bloody, it was not divisive. No white person in South Africa could have done it, and no black person in South Africa could have done it. And if people don't understand the symbolism of what I'm saying, think of this. Had Abraham Lincoln lived and not died, we would be far better off today in terms of race.
How old would he be now?
Because it may not even
300,
be
right?
Close to that, but he certainly would have passed even a natural life.
Yeah.
But only he would have been able to heal the wounds in the same way that Mandela did between forces that were so divisive. And because
of
that,
think of the president's behavior during the ceremony?
Of the Mandela ceremony?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was significant enough to warrant impeachment. I mean, I think it was
I didn't
fairly
ask
mild.
that. I just it seemed to me to be.
It's a question of taste, perhaps, but I'm not sure that it was significant enough in that way. And would I've done it? I'm not sure. I don't know. It appeared Michelle Obama was not very happy about it, and I'm sure if she wasn't, she expressed her concerns to him, and he's made note of it. Yeah.
So you're just being a liberal weenie, terrified to say what you really think.
I've never been accused of not saying what I really think.
Well, of course it was inappropriate behavior. It was idiotic.
I see. Well, I'm not sure
We're
that it's
honoring
idiotic.
Nelson Mandela and this moron sitting there taking a photograph of himself with come on.
With other heads of states as well. Yes. Well, in any event, he was there. He paid respects and appropriately as the President of the United States, made the trip, and he certainly had a personal connection that he was able to express in his eulogy.
Hey, did you hear about this Duck Dynasty deal?
I've heard about that. Yes, I have, and my understanding is that that now there's a backlash, and so I don't think we've heard the last of it. He has been suspended.
Right.
But there is enough of a backlash now from fans of the show and from the other members of the cast that A&E may have to reconsider it. So that's something, and that does bring me to the issue of Christmas in a way that's interesting, because Don, what kind of society have we become where we've allowed ourselves to reach a point where the biggest holiday of the year and the most major holiday around the world is treated like it's some kind of pariah? I just checked out of the hotel coming here, and at the desk, the last thing that the agent said to me was Happy Holidays. And I said to her, and a Merry Christmas to you. And she said, that's it. But I was scared to say it. Don, this is what's happened. And let me just say this about this Christmas. If I hear one more on-air anchor say Happy Holidays, what holidays are you talking about? Labor Day? I mean, this is Christmas. And the reality is that we need to celebrate it, we need to honor it, and it doesn't offend everyone else. We say Happy Kwanzaa, we say Happy Hanukkah. So for crying out loud, say Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you something else, and this needs to be said.
Yeah.
I have many close Jewish friends. You can't blame this on the Jews. And the reason I say that, most of my close Jewish friends have told me that growing up, either their parents and almost all of their grandparents would make statements. Whenever something bad happened around the world, they would say, watch them. They'll blame it on the Jews. And there is this notion that somehow they are behind this. In my entire life, I have never heard a Jewish person complain about Christmas, and some of the most elaborate Christmas parties anywhere in the country are held at businesses and companies that are owned by Jewish owners. So forget that one. So who is it that is in fact complaining and has that much strength that we can't say Merry Christmas?
God, you got me all upset now, but you're right. So
let's get him.
Yeah.
Well, it's always nice to see you. I hope Santa brings you some nice stuff.
Well, that's another point with Harris. When I was a kid, I wasn't worried about what color he was. I don't care what color he was as long as I got the gifts I wanted, you know.
It's always great to see you. And Carl Jeffers here in the Imus Morning program, and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, and on the money.
You know, here's the thing about Carl. I'll tell you how well I like him. Sometimes he annoys me, but not enough that I would ever tell him he couldn't be on. So,
right.
I don't know.
It's a good sign.
Why that is, but
good guy.
Salmonella was not going to be on this morning. We're not doing the what's that called?
Night before Christmas.
Night before Christmas. Yeah. Rob sends me an email saying, "Can I stop for the Jews coming from the heart?" No, I can't.
No.
All right. So, thank you, Ebenezer.
Ebenezer.
You're the worst.
5 minutes now till the hour. What?
I feel like that kid with the crutch.
Oh, good.
Imus in the morning.
What's the matter, Tony?
You're a hater.
Bigfoot's not here today.
Still got to get ready for the big day.
What big day?
Christmas Eve.
Well, what's he doing Christmas Eve?
On the sleigh.
Hey, Nat, I'm freezing to death in here.
Open that.
What?
Open that.
A little something from the Dice Man.
Well, you open it.
It is your present.
Something for me?
Yes.
It's nice.
Well, I don't. Is there something I'm going to have to deal with?
No. You'll have somebody else deal with it for you.
Let me see it.
Deal with.
I'll lay it with somebody.
It's the normal way of accepting a present, right? Something I have to deal with?
Deal with, yes.
Well.
Like my wife gave me a chess set, but a beautiful chess set. It's too heavy.
Let's see. You got to deal with it.
No, man. No,
yeah, even you.
No, you really are. No, really.
What is this?
That's what you need.
Yeah, a space heater. That's beautiful.
You know, old people get cold.
Well, yeah, I'm old and I'm cold.
Old and cold.
Last. Imus in the morning.
Well, there's no real news. Well, not anything. I mean, what are the headlines?
Well, the defense bill in Congress deals with sexual assaults. That's one of the things. We still have that Target story. People upset about the compromised credit cards. They're all, New Mexico legalized same-sex marriage, things like that. Rodman's over in North Korea. So.
Okay, 5 minutes after the hour. So, Bo sent me a video yesterday of him on the Fox Business Network with Charlie Gasparino. What's the matter with him, by the way?
He's a little defunctated, but I know him about 35 years. He's one of the smartest guys that know Wall Street.
I made fun of him. Started whining about it.
Yeah.
And then yesterday has you on. He's trying to make you look bad.
Hey, everybody can try to make me look
bad.
bad.
What was that about?
But you know the bottom line, Don? I always come up to the top, baby.
Bo Dietl is in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
And The Wolf of Wall Street is about what?
The Wolf of Wall Street is about this group of alleged stockbrokers. I call them alleged because they were bad from the beginning. And what they did was they got
old lady's money, and then they put a stock at about $2. They pump it up in 1 week to about $15, $18, and then they sell their shares. Then Mama got caught with the garbage. Then they had a big party every Friday up in Millie's, up in Long Island there, and they partied up. Then he had about 10 of these.
What was the guy's name?
Jordan Belfort. He had about 10 of these prolificators. You know what that means, prolification? Oh. Well, whatever you want it to mean. It meant that they made the money on the stock, then they took bags of money, and they kicked back their profits, portion of their profits back to Jordan. So there was duffel bags of cash going back and forth. So I was hired. Matter of fact, Dick Grasso called up this guy. Dick Grasso knew him, and he called him up, and he said, I'm having problems.
Dick Grasso called who?
Dick Grasso and Belfort knew each other.
Okay, and Belfort called Grasso?
They had some kind of they knew each other. And make a long story short.
Well, how did you get involved in it?
Well, Dick Grasso then said something about call Bo up, and he could help you out. Because what was happening was the other people out there who were in different businesses were trying to weasel in. Because whenever there's money being made out there, for some reason it's like they get the smell.
Hey, Dagan, come over to the mic here, because she knows a lot about this, too. Now,
yeah.
Was this, Dagan, was this a regular Wall Street firm? What's this guy's name?
Jordan Belfort's his name.
And he had a regular Wall Street firm, Bo?
It was a Wall Street firm. It was a brokerage firm. They had legal brokers that took the licensed broker test. But what they did was they started out right.
What year was this?
This was probably in 1990. I want to say 1994, 5, like that when it started.
Okay.
And what happened was it was legal. They started buying blue chip stuff. They suckered the real good people in, selling stock, real stock. Then all of a sudden they says, well, you know what? We got a way of making a lot more money. They were making 50% commissions. So if they sold 100,000 worth of stock, you're making 50,000. The parking lot would have Ferraris, Maseratis in it. These kids were 21 years old, all brand new suits.
And they were all crooks.
Oh, yeah, they were all crooks. And you know what? The lead guy.
Okay, so then one of them calls Grasso. Just Jordan, what's his name?
Belfort.
He calls Grasso?
That's what I hear.
Then, and what did he want?
Well, he asked him, who could help him out because he was getting weaseled in by some of the guys.
Some what guys?
Those guys.
The mob.
Well, yeah, some of those guys.
So then Grasso says what, call Bo?
Yeah.
Okay, so they called you?
Yeah. So what happens is...
So he hired you?
He hires me for the complete security. He was on
Did you know
cocaine.
what he was doing at the time?
No, I was mad that he wasn't letting me get some of this stuff. I said, everybody's making the money here except me. And he says, you and my father, I'm going to keep out of this, Bo. I really didn't know exactly how illegal it was because I didn't know about stocks.
Gasparino yesterday was suggesting that you were a dirtbag for helping these people.
No, Charlie didn't think that. No. I didn't help him. I did provided the security. I had Rocco Day, Rocco Night. These are my guys. We had a house.
Whoa. Rocco Day and Rocco Night?
They were both named Rocco. One worked during the night, one worked during the day.
Doing what? Enough?
Security.
Okay.
We built a house in his back in the old Brookville. He had a big place there. We built a security house there. We had cameras, motion detectors. It was like I Spy. The guy was on cocaine, so he was paranoidatious.
Is this all in the movie?
It was in the movie. He actually had security all over the place because he was thinking they were coming. And I kept saying, yeah, I think they're coming. We need 5 more guys. So much as he told them they were coming, I said, yeah, we need more guys.
So you made a fortune from this.
Well, not a fortune. I made some lucrative legally.
Don't you feel bad now about what you do? The poor little ladies losing
No,
money?
I didn't take
Maybe
any money.
Gasparino was right.
I didn't take any of that money. I didn't take any of them. The only money I took was from my services that I rented.
Okay.
Yeah, but the point is...
well, so then, so how did we keep the mob or the wise guys from killing the guy?
Well,
Did they want to kill him?
Charlie said they wanted to kill him. They didn't want to kill him. They wanted to become his partner, in other words.
Well, why not?
It was like, they wanted
like the Godfather says, they wanted to dip their beak in the...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to dip my beak. So what happens is I had a couple of sit-downs, a couple of fellas, and I said, I'm a partner in here, which I really wasn't a partner, but in the sense of protectation, I was a partner. I wasn't going to let them buffalo their way in there. And I said, look, guys, you got to go to another stop. This bus left this stop, man. The Bo's here. And we had a whole bunch of guys who were security. Then what we were doing...
Why did they listen to you? Why didn't they say to you, Why don't you butt out, bozo?
Well, you know, I have a lot of respect for them. They have a lot of respect back for me, and I still do.
As well they should.
No, I still do. I have a lot of friends, and you know what? It's something you're doing a lot of things. Why should you go in an area which could be a little defuncation for you?
Yeah, and when you could go someplace else.
Right, go somewhere else. You got a lot of nice things going on. Why have something that's going to be a little push and tug? So what happens is...
So what eventually happened?
What eventually happened is he got into Quaaludes, cocaine. He got into every known drug known to man.
Sure.
He was stoned out of his head. He fell asleep in his friggin' macaroni at Rayo's one night where his head went into the macaroni. It's in the movie. I pick his head out of the macaroni because he was so whacked out of it. He was on clay. All that kind of stuff. But the point was he had the boat, 170-foot boat. He had the planes, the helicopters.
And big time into hookers?
Hookers.
That's
man.
what Dagan told me.
Absolutely, man. I mean, but they had 3 levels of hookers. They had the high-class hookers.
Yeah.
You had to use a condom. Then the middle ones, the ones they were okay. And then you had the scurvitations. That means that went to the back room.
Sure.
Yeah. Now, I didn't see all this. I didn't see all this.
Yeah.
All I knew is one thing. My job was one thing, to protect him. I did investigations for him. Also, I'd say, hey, Jordan, that company you want to make an IPO, they said they have 18 offices.
All right.
They have empty rooms. There's no office. He goes, Bo, you did a good investigation.
When does the movie open?
It's opening Christmas Day. It's an exciting movie, but the redeeming factation is the guy's a creep. The guy took money from old people.
Oh, sure.
That's the fact. But Leonardo DiCaprio is the greatest actor ever. He could play that creep better than anybody else. He's played everything from...
All right, here's what I want you to...
Yeah.
So why don't you go to Gasparino? Because I like Gasparino.
Want me to punch him?
No.
What?
Well, why?
I love Charlie.
What?
I love Charlie.
But he won't appear on the program because I made fun of him. I didn't even figure what
You
I
make
said.
fun of me for the last 28 years. We love each other, man. What do we got? We got one thing. We got our soul. We got our integrity, brother. And it's Christmas, man. So let's be happy.
But how come we can't make fun of Gasparino? I was making fun of him about, he talks about, what does he always talk about? It's exclusive or something, whatever.
Oh, maybe, you were saying it wasn't exclusive? Was that what you were saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I jumped all ugly with him. You know what happened with him? I'm out to lunch with my friend Steve Cohen, dinner for Steve Cohen from Sac Capital. Good friend of mine, family. I'm at his house. I love the guy. I love his wife. A generous guy who's the real deal. No fugaziness. He makes money because he analyzes the stock.
Sure.
So, they're always coming after him. So I make a statement to Charlie saying, we're out to dinner at Milo's. And all of a sudden I said, they're coming after you like you're the John Gotti of hedge funds. He quotes me in the friggin' book. Steve doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I love Steve and his wife, Alex. They're the greatest people in the world. He's not like a Jordan Belfort. Steve Cohen's a guy that analyzes stock. He's a smart guy. 1,000 people. He has work compliance.
So Gasparino burned a bridge for you?
Burned a bridge, man. He put me in the friggin' book. I said, you're like Sammy the friggin' Bull there, Charlie. I said, how do you burn your sauce, man? I said something to you in confidence. I know Charlie 35 years. I said something in confidence. Why would you print my name like that,
Maybe,
man?
all right, I changed my mind. We'll stay at war with Gasparino.
Yeah, but it's a great, entertaining movie. Martin
I can't wait to see this.
Martin Scorsese, it's a lot. I tell you what, there's a lot of sex in there, a lot of nudity. But I'm going to tell you something. They picked the most beautiful woman.
That'll be fine, Bob.
And Jordan Belfort, the real Jordan Belfort's a little guy about 4 foot tall, and you got Leonardo DiCaprio's 5'11", but he morphs into the character. Scorsese gets it to work, and it's a great movie. It's entertaining.
Okay, fine.
But when you leave, you want to wash your hands. That sanitizer you want to do.
No.
You want to wash your hands. Great movie. He portrays him great.
I gotta go.
I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Hold on. May I do this? Are we allowed to say Merry Christmas?
Of course.
I don't know what to say anymore.
Say Merry Christmas.
That's what it is. Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
15 after the hour.
Healthy New Year.
15 after the hour. Here you go, Mr. Wayne program. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, you and your family.
For a special appearance.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to, I felt bad, Gasparino, trying to paint you as some sort of crook in concert with this guy, ripping off old ladies, and apparently that's not the case.
Right off my Christmas party.
Pretty much not the case.
Right off my Christmas party, Don.
I got to go.
Christmas party last night.
Go.
Sparks.
Okay, quarter after the hour. Time for your Christmas parties at Sparks.
Was last night. 200 people. Look how good. You know why? Because I don't drink anymore. Look at me.
Hey, you look great. All right, time for business news down here with that. Sponsored by Short Hills Aviation. Let's give it to them.
Why not?
Here is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. The futures are up right now with the Dow starting the day at a new all-time high. And
I'll be in Texas, so if you need to. All right, go ahead.
I mean, this is for you, maybe. Gold trading below $1,200 an ounce. It's down 29% this year. The glittering commodity is on track for its first annual loss in 13 years. Biggest drop since 1981.
Wow.
So much for safety and a store of value. That's
Dagan McDowell here on the Imus in the Morning program. Vinny from Queens is coming up. We'll talk sports with Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Tony Powell, and Mike Gunselman. So, Warner, when you do sports now, just take a brief amount of time. Because we want to save time for Vinny from Queens. Anyway.
My time is your time.
Warner Wolf Sports is sponsored by American-made Peerless Boilers. And here he is with it now. Good morning, Warner.
Morning, man. So the big story, is that it for 35-year-old Kobe Bryant? He's just coming back from Achilles tendon surgery. He broke a bone above his left leg, above his kneecap Tuesday night against the Grizzlies. And it's these optimistic doctors are, I think they're PR men. They say he'll be back in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe if he sits home with his leg on a pillow. But running up and down a court, top level, man, I'm no doctor, but I would guess 10 to 12 weeks. And, beginning tomorrow, man.
What?
No less than 35 bowl games plus the Senior Bowl.
Wow.
So you can watch them all. As we do every year, can I go 0 for 36 with a common score of 20 to 14 for the 36 games? And this could be bad news for A-Rod, man.
Hurry up.
Okay, this is it. And finally, before next month's suspension ruling, a Florida appeals court has ruled that A-Rod's cousin, Yuri Sukart, you remember him?
Oh, sure.
He was banned by the Yankees from all facilities. Yeah. Well, he was suspected of supplying A-Rod with banned substances, so he has to give his deposition. So, of course, if he's guilty, I guarantee he's not going to take a hit for A-Rod.
18 after the hour. Bernie has a briefing coming up. What's there, B?
Some late-night Duck Dynasty laughs, Brian Boitano, and Kimmel's year in unnecessary censorship.
Morning program, Vinny from Queens coming up where we talk sports. But right now it's time for a Bernie briefing, and that's sponsored by MyPillow. And here with that, Bernard McGoik. Morning, Mr. McGoik.
Morning, Mr. Imus. And your friend Terry Bradshaw, a little sidebar to this Duck Dynasty story. He went to Louisiana Tech, did Bradshaw, and he was the backup quarterback to this guy, Phil Robertson, who was the lead quarterback at Louisiana Tech. Excuse me, did I say Texas Tech? It's Louisiana Tech, and Bradshaw was his backup quarterback for 2 years. Just an interesting sidebar. Take a listen to Conan O'Brien from last night.
It's true, though, the star of Duck Dynasty spoke out against homosexuality. Yeah. He said the only beard a man should have is one that houses lice and squirrels. Today, former Olympic figure skating gold medalist Brian Boitano announced he is gay. Yeah. Yeah, he did it by saying, "Hi, I'm Olympic figure skater Brian Boitano." That's what he did.
And Jimmy Kimmel did his year in unnecessary censorship last night.
Sure.
Take a listen to this.
We compiled all our favorites into one very funny little package, and it is my immense pleasure to present that to you now. This year in unnecessary censorship.
Just 4 days on the job, and Pope Francis is already f***ing things up.
He did let me know that if the day came, I could go beat on his dick and really put it to him. So
if you give me the chance, I will f you and your family every single day.
You know, Barbara Bush taught me to live life to the fullest, to laugh a lot, and to my.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on the show. Great tip.
Yeah, really. Dad taught me how to be a president. Before that, he showed me how to a man.
Oh, I want a black so bad.
I mean, I remember when butt was just something I did in college around 2 a.m.
Option number 2, I'm gonna a live cow.
And there you have it. And the crowd went wild after that. There was a lot of laughter, believe it or not.
That's great. I'm sure there was. So.
Yeah, and your friend Jon Stewart, boss.
What did he do?
Last night he was all over the NSA spying scandal.
Oh,
Apparently they're the gamers. They're hacking the royal family phones. Take a listen to Stewart from last over the line. According to Jon Stewart.
Well, everyone is not. There's not a home run every time. So
that's right.
Like the Mensa meeting yesterday. It was
yeah,
that was a rough one. So, and that was apparently a rough night last night for Mr. Stewart. So.
No, he was very funny last night, actually. But we have Vinny from Queens coming up now.
28 after the hour. This portion of the Imus Morning program, sponsored by Cars for Kids. Donate your car today, and they will not give it to the child, I would hope. So they'd be hideously irresponsible. But I suspect they'll sell it and perhaps spend the money on the children. Let's hope that's what they're doing. With Warner Wolf, Lou Rufino, Guns Gunselman, and Tony Powell, how are you guys?
Hey,
Good. Talk some sports now. Kobe Bryant broke his knee last night. Start with you, Tony. Is he going to come back?
He's coming back. They said 6 weeks. He'll be back.
Okay.
Good riddance, but yes, he's coming back.
Warner, what do you think?
He ain't coming back in 6 weeks. Come on, man. Who you kidding?
What do you think, Lou?
Lou. Yes, Lou. First time.
I know what your name is.
First time, long time. Hi.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's coming back. But what's the point? Because the Lakers kind of suck. He wants that scoring title thing. He's coming back though. He's a big competitor.
Yeah, ego.
Yeah.
And there's $48 million at play.
I think so.
Well, he'll get his money regardless.
Yeah, he gets
of whether
that
he comes
anyway.
back or not.
Yeah.
What?
He's getting his money either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he'll come back
but
for the season.
how effective can he be? Come on, man.
Yeah, how effective will he be?
See, well, first of all, I'm going to explain something to you. This is modern medicine.
Yeah.
They don't cut your leg off like they did back in your day in the Civil War when you break it. They actually heal the leg.
You remember those days,
can play. Yeah, you remember. You were there.
Yeah, you have a lot of credibility. You're the guy that said the Packers would beat the Lions Thanksgiving because of the running game. They had 24 yards rushing. That was good.
I know you're not calling me out on my predictions.
Yes.
Mister, we've had 13,000 games this year, and I'm $100 behind.
No, 100 ahead. Come on.
This is ugly.
You try to bet every point spread and see how you do after 300 games.
I will.
I guarantee you.
Next year, Warner, it's on.
You'll be in the hole.
Warner from downtown.
Wow.
Switch.
Ugly stats and everything on you.
Speaking of,
I'm a little scared.
Speaking of basketball, I'll start with you, Lou. Should the Knicks fire Woodson?
No, it's really that doesn't make a difference. They're going to fire him because they are a terrible team. They are so bad.
Even after the other night.
No, it's not. The thing is that doesn't solve anything. Firing him. There's nobody there. They have to ride out this season and get rid of the contracts again. Let Carmelo leave because he's going to leave anyway, and get somebody who can run the basketball operation. Not James Dolan. He's a moron. Hello.
By the way, who would want Carmelo Anthony on their team?
Nobody.
And who would want to come in and coach the Knicks right now, too? Nobody.
The thing is, Melo got his team, and guess what? It sucks. And they should get rid of Woodson and bring back the savior himself, Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, that's good.
That's my Christmas list.
Yeah, you know what?
Isaiah.
They might as well.
Be bad all the way. That's right.
Now you're talking.
What do you think, Warner?
Yeah, let's bury him with Isaiah.
Yeah.
Come on.
That would be great.
That's right. You don't need the circus.
They're going to be they're going to be bad with Woodson or without him. Period.
So Mike Lupica claims Woodson's a terrific coach. And you're down with the Lupica, or you don't?
I believe he's absolutely right. I mean, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Team sucks.
It's not his fault.
He didn't assemble his team.
How about
you can only cook with the ingredients you have. Somebody gives you a brick and a garlic clove. You can't make soup.
Not his fault. Who didn't call the
I said a brick and a garlic clove. That was very brick and garlic clove. Brick and garlic clove.
Who didn't call the timeout when he had 3 timeouts left?
All right, Carmelo didn't just start playing basketball. He's been playing basketball since he was 9. You got to know that you got 6 seconds left. You get the ball at half court. He has to make that call. He's calling for the ball.
No.
You got to drive down the court.
No, you can't be cut. Well, you're making excuses for the coach.
Yes.
The coach makes the call.
Come
you know
on,
that.
man.
Come on.
All right. It's 22 till the hour. We're in the middle of Vinny from Queens. All right. I don't know whether you guys can weigh in on this or not. But I was down in makeup this morning, and Teresa was working on the I-Man's hair.
We can tell.
Things went well. And she and Dagan and Carly are there. And they were talking about how hot Mike Breen is.
Oh, wow.
Actually, Pervin on Breen.
Hey, two on one.
That's something you think?
Yo, Mike Breen is hot.
Yeah, that's a 2-on-1 fast break.
So not this?
The only reason to watch the Knicks right now is to see Mike Breen, right?
Okay.
That's right.
So even the men agree Breen's hot, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And he's a Fordham alum with Cotto and I.
Okay.
Keep it quiet, Guns, all right? Yeah. Connell doesn't want that association.
We don't want to be claiming you.
Right.
All right, let's talk. Where Brooklyn at? Let's talk about the Nets.
No.
Jason Kidd, should he be fired?
No.
Oh, he shouldn't.
Should not be fired. He hasn't had a complete team this whole season. Let's see what happens when everybody gets healthy, and then he's coaching with a full deck.
What do you think?
He needs to go as well. That Russian guy's got to take him out. His car needs to explode.
Yeah, let's keep him so he can spill another drink on the court.
Yeah. What do you think, Lou?
I actually agree with Dr. Powell on this one. I would have to say that you can't fire him right now in the middle of the season. They haven't had their complete team, yet they are in pretty much disarray. Just let them ride out the season and give them.
How's the Garnett and Pierce doing?
Horrible.
They're playing like they're old.
That was the
biggest regret ever of their lives.
That was the biggest Boston robbery since the Brinks job.
It just started.
What is it?
Everybody's freaking out. It just started.
Well, it just started. Kevin Garnett is my age. He's not going to get better.
No, but here's the thing. They didn't get them to play 82 games. They got them to play in the playoffs.
Right.
That's what they did.
Oh, I see.
But you got to get to the playoffs first.
Have you seen the East? They get into the playoffs.
You know what's unbelievable? I realize we're on all over the world on the radio and all over the country on the Fox Business Network, and we're talking about New York sports. But you know what's stunning? Is in this, and I've lived here for a long time, in the greatest city in the world, I think.
Damn right.
And we've got the worst sports teams ever.
All across the board.
The Jets have gone now. I mean, it's embarrassing. The Jets, the third season without a playoff.
Yeah.
Let's start with you, Warner. What should happen to Rex Ryan?
Rex Ryan? No, I think he's gone after that. Unless maybe if they win the last two games and finish 8-8, he said, well, he's 500. He's got a year to go. Give him another year.
Who do they play next?
They have the Browns and the Dolphins.
Good luck.
So
I don't think they can beat the Dolphins, can they?
No, the Dolphins will be playing for something.
No, if the Dolphins
Miami
are
will be
shooting
playing
for
the
playoffs.
playoffs. They'll kill them.
You know, it's too bad he did it.
If they're not in, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, he
So
did
what do you
it.
think should happen, Guns?
I think you fire everybody else one by one just so you can still see that Rex Ryan was the main reason why they suck so much. You can't blame the coordinators. Fire everybody else until Rex so we continue with Rex as long as possible.
I'm starting to think that your hair care products are starting to seep into your brain. First of all, Rex has got the worst team on the planet, and yet they were supposed to be ranked 32 out of 32, dead last according to ESPN.
Yeah.
And yet we were talking about them having a playoff shot going into week 14.
Right.
He's done the best coaching job in New York. Bar none.
Come on.
Bar none.
What have you
You know, you get caught up. You know how people get caught up on the toe sucking and they get caught up on the other nonsense.
Who's paying your salary? What are you talking about?
I'm saying he's done the best coaching job in New York.
If you were a mafia guy, if you were a mafia guy, we'd call you Tony Excuses.
Yeah,
Tony Excuses.
Yes.
By the way, why are you defending toe sucking?
That's catchy.
You know
why? Because those are his. That's his wife's toes. It's not like he's looking at somebody going, "Man, them some sexy socks you got on. I wonder what you got underneath." He's talking about his wife's toe.
You're about a half a toe jam sucking freak yourself.
Okay, well, you know.
Hey, Warner, what do you think?
Rex Ryan did it backwards. What? He did it backwards.
What?
You see?
Way to do it, too.
You see?
Now,
Well, he got him in
now he's doing it backwards.
He got him in the AFC Championship game his first 2 years. Then he went 6-10, 8-8. Now he's 6-8.
Right.
If he had gone 6-8, 8-8, 6-8, and then he puts him in the chip. But it doesn't work that way.
Okay, Pop.
I run out of paper.
We know what you're getting at.
Okay.
All right,
Carry the
17 till they are.
Disrespectful.
Talking Vinny from Queens. All right, let's go across the river to the Giants and Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning. What's that all about? Start with you, Warner.
Well, you know, I would hate to think it, but it's possible that Eli has seen his better days.
Oh, my God.
I mean, but he has a horrible team. He has no offensive line, and I think he.
Well, wait a minute. Is because he has a horrible team? Is that why he throws the ball to the other team over and
there's
over?
Another thing. He is colorblind. I
You
think
mean
that
because his team can't catch us, so maybe they can't? Right.
Yeah, 25 interceptions. Gosh, but. Hey, look, come on. You're going to just blow off 2 Super Bowl wins? Great comebacks by Eli? I would think not.
Okay, and the coach? I love the coach.
Yeah, he's got to stay, I would think.
He's the oldest coach in the NFL, so his days are definitely numbered, Coughlin.
Nah, man.
You'd be a great GM, brother. I mean, you're firing everybody. No answer. Everybody wants to fire everybody.
Tom, first of all, if you look at Tom Coughlin's career, Bill Parcells is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
How many rings does he have? 2. Parcells, 2.
Yes.
How many does Coughlin have?
2.
He's taken his team to the playoffs. He's had a winning record for the most part, except for his first year and this present year. So he's done a good job. He took Jacksonville to the playoffs, and they were an expansion team.
Okay.
So I'm saying.
I'm a big Tom Coughlin fan, so fine.
Got it.
All right, any pro games?
Angry black man.
Any pro games this weekend? Start with you, Warner. That we should watch that are significant, that mean something.
Well, I don't know. I'm looking. I mean, you want to see if the. I don't know what
well,
you
if you
want.
don't know, and you're the least.
Yeah, you know what I was
I don't have a list.
That's your job description, Warner.
I'm curious.
You've had all week to prepare for the games, Warner.
Well, I made some picks, but that doesn't help.
Well,
You know the problem this week? You've got 5 games where teams are 10 points or more favored.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to watch those games. Maybe you want to see how.
Well, is there any team
that leaves 20 teams left, Warner?
I'm looking at.
Give him a minute.
I don't think there are. You know what? There is one game.
Here we go.
That's a significant game. The Panthers and the Saints.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good game.
And
there.
The Panthers are the favorite. I would take the Saints in that game.
Okay, was there any team playing that if they win, they get in, if they don't, they don't?
Well, that's the whole thing. A lot of this is still up in the air.
Yeah,
so
it
I mean, a
depends
lot
on
of these games, despite what Warner says, a lot of these games have value.
They matter.
Whether I mean, even if the Seahawks are playing Jacksonville, I mean, they have to win to get home field advantage.
Okay.
San Fran has got to win.
Which brings me to the Dallas Cowboys and Tony Romo. Start with you, Lou. Tony Romo seems like a lovely guy.
No.
But, the question is he a choking dog or just unlucky?
Well, it's hard to argue that he's choked numerous times. It's hard to argue, but they have a couple of other problems on the Cowboys. I think Des Bryant is a clear indication, number one. Walking off the field with 2 seconds left.
No, it's more than that. It was about a minute and a half.
24.
Well, all right, whatever the heck it was. But
he
still,
was
you
crying.
just don't walk off the field, never crying. I mean, they got other problems to deal. Tony Romo is one of the top a top flight quarterback. I shouldn't say one of the top, but just
and he
getting
never
rid of
gets it done, though, does he? Or does he get it done? And I just don't know.
I'd get rid of the coach and the offensive coordinator before I got rid of Romo.
Oh, you would?
Yeah.
How about you, Guns?
Well, the thing with Romo is he's all right, but the last time the Cowboys were good, the only one of us that was alive was Warner.
What are you looking at?
You, honey.
Well, no, but I mean, honey.
What is that?
Well, you're looking off somewhere.
TV.
No, he's got lazy eyes.
Don't forget. Don't worry about that.
Guns is getting desperate.
I keep it. You were talking, and I'm sitting there. So I'm kind of. So what the hell is he looking at?
It's like Bo talking to the president over
Yeah.
there. Kind of thing.
Not to me.
I know you're watching.
Son of a bitch.
All right.
All right.
Talking to Rex Ryan.
Tony Romo.
I can't say it again, but yes.
Okay. What?
He's fine. He just doesn't get it done when it matters.
Okay. Tony.
It's not his fault that the Dallas Cowboys gave up that many points on defense to the Packers. Yeah, that's right. It's not. No, there's a difference between excuses and reasons. The reason that they lost is Dallas can't play defense. That's not an excuse. That's a reason.
Well, that is true.
The reason you can't reach the top shelf is not because you don't want to. It's because you're short.
That's good. I don't think we need to talk about how tall Warner is.
That's for the radio audience.
Okay, but that just makes him feel bad. It's not good for his self-esteem. He already knows he's short.
What?
All right, what's final question? Sports wish for 2014.
Sports wish for 2014.
Oh, God, this is easy.
Oh, man.
It's easy.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, let you think, Guns.
Yeah,
It's something horrible to happen to A-Rod.
Everybody still sucks.
Maybe like Tiger Woods sleeping with A-Rod's girl or something.
Okay, what do you think, Warner?
Yeah, that's good. Let's give A-Rod 211 games.
Okay, Lou?
I want a blizzard for the Super Bowl.
All right.
An absolute blizzard.
Oh,
They
man,
have to
that's
bring the
cold. What do you think? Well, it will be cold, too.
Clouds out there.
Tony?
I want them to move the Super Bowl to get to the day before. That's what I want.
Oh, you do?
It's Saturday Super Bowl.
Super Bowl Saturday.
Yeah, that's
Super
what they
Bowl
might do,
Saturday.
too.
Yeah, Super Bowl Monday.
Wouldn't that be cool,
would.
man? That way you
Yeah,
can
how
sleep in the next day, man.
How about do it the way normal people, Saturday night, have the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Okay?
No, we're hoping for 7 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
80-mile-an-hour winds.
Snow
3
plows.
feet of snow. Oh, man, yeah.
and no plow.
Yeah.
No, 12 minutes down till the hour.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, man, but I mean, you're with the program, Warner.
Just tell Tony it's nothing personal.
And Lou, I love.
You having regrets, Warner?
Yes.
I love Lou. I was telling Connell this morning, 2 of my favorite people on earth are Lou Ruffino and Bernard McGurk. I worked with them both for 25 years.
Wow.
And they're the best, 2 of the best people, period, on the planet. Forget being on the radio and on TV. They're just,
man. A little soft today, a little softy today.
Santa Claus.
Well, no, I just, but, you're a a-hole.
Thank you, boss.
Imus in the morning.
What, you have a pair of glasses for dice and another pair for salmonella?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
So?
Yeah.
I've seen you do salmonella for how many years?
26. This will be the 26th year.
Oh, my. Please let it.
It's a perennial.
What?
It's a perennial.
Yeah, and people love this thing.
No, they don't.
I'll be doing it on New Year's Eve.
Tony?
Well, that's because you got a bunch of drunk mouth breathers. That's some mafia comedy club in New Jersey.
We just finished.
And by the way, don't make it sound. When I ask you, I said, why are you at. Deidre pointed this out.
What?
Because I said, well, why are you at Vinny's? Well, they're the only one who offered me a gig. Well, why wouldn't you say? That's what you said.
I was trying to be funny.
He's a comedian.
Get it?
No, you're now you sound like Megyn Kelly.
No, I was trying to be funny.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Did somebody else offer you a gig?
I had a couple of offers.
You're lying.
I had a couple of offers.
He's an honest man.
I don't believe you.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, you're supposed to say, Tony will agree with me.
Yeah, that's how it will. Go ahead.
I said, why are you at Vinny from
Vinny what?
Why are you at
Uncle Vinny?
Uncle Vinny's, and you're supposed to say, because it's the place to be. That's what's going on.
We had just finished. You would just finish going on this tirade about how
You always, here's the problem. You might as well be 15 years old because you always have some excuse about it.
It's not an excuse. I'm just telling you what happened. No, because you have selective memory.
What?
You
2 days only. Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, everyone is the word because Mike Breen is in the building.
All right.
Oh my God! Is Connell okay?
Oh, I get really worked up.
Connell gets just as worked up over Mike Breen as does Dagan and Carly.
It's a little disgusting.
More.
Jeez.
I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's so it's uncomfortable.
So on a serious note, I wanted to mention I didn't know him. I met him. I met him once. But Larry Lujack, one of the great disc jockeys in the history of radio, a legendary Chicago radio personality, retired he's my age, 73. He died Wednesday, had esophageal cancer. And he'd been living in Santa Fe, New Mexico, for the past 15 years. Somebody told me he was there, but I never looked him up because I didn't really know him. I met him once. But he was a lovely guy, I'm told, by a lot of people who knew him. And he was a great radio personality and a genuine legend in Chicago radio, and I'm sorry he passed away, and God bless him, hope his family and all that. So, and our old friend Al Goldstein, who used to have him on occasionally, and of course he died.
Yeah. Well, he was a famous pornographer here in New York City.
Yes, he was.
And he used to do some very vile things on his cable show, including fornicating. On TV.
Whoa. But he was, for whatever reason, a big fan of mine, and I was never clear about why. But he was, but he was truly a disgusting individual.
God rest him.
But he did have some redeeming qualities. I'm just not sure that we ever found out what they were.
Very good sense of humor.
Yes.
And
a brilliant guy, by the way.
A character who ended up broke and homeless here in New York City. Yeah. And he used to do this thing on his show called Blank You to People.
Yeah.
It was very famous. A guy wrote a column in the New York Post this morning, and his last words in the New York Post column is, Al Goldstein, blank you.
Yeah.
That's how he ended the column.
Anyway, here were some thoughts on the passing of Al Goldstein. Is Andrew Dice Clay.
We lost one of the great ones yesterday. Yeah, Al Goldstein, the original filthy animal. He was a true original, a man with a dream. A dream to be the raunchiest, most disgustingly nauseating human being who would bring the raunchiest, most disgustingly nauseating sexual images to the masses. He was a porn pioneer, the Magellan of Without Goldstein, Larry Flint would be just another pervert on wheels. Hugh Hefner would basically be what he is now, a lampshade with a limp love lizard. Every couple of years, Hugh's able to convince some blonde with big cans who's young enough to be his great-granddaughter that he can make her a star if she can just train herself to ignore the smell of formaldehyde, close her eyes, and think about Adam Levine once a month for 15 seconds until he's done and rolls off her to take a nap. Sound familiar? you? But I digress. Al fought for our inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of a chick with an underdeveloped gag reflex. Without Al, Kleenex, Lubriderm, and carpal tunnel syndrome would not exist. There was nothing that was a challenge to Al, except for maybe hygiene. I mean, flies put paper down before they landed on them. You follow? Al, we hardly knew you, and I hope you're up there in a great big peep show in the sky with an infinite number of quarters. Now, somebody give me some Purell. I gotta go take a shower. Ow!
Andrew Dice Clay on the passing of Al Goldstein. So, I say that I get an email from Rob, and he says, "Can I do salmonella?"
Of course.
And I said, nobody wants to hear it.
It's just not true.
See, that's where you...
No, see,
not true.
It's like certain songs that people think that we want to hear.
Right.
Like that they sing places.
Right.
Like wedding bands and so on.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Diane could tell you this. So,
right.
Aren't there certain songs, Diane, that you get that they request? What's the most popular song they request at a wedding?
Probably I Got a Feeling still. And then there are classics like Shout.
Yeah. And does anybody want to hear those songs? And particularly if it's not the Isley Brothers singing Shout, you don't want to hear a bunch of white people at a white wedding singing Shout, do you?
Well, the lead singer of our band isn't white.
Well, just be that as it may.
Well, just for sake of my discussion.
No, but for the sake of the discussion, I mean, the people requesting
along.
it obviously want to hear it. I think when it comes to a wedding, it depends on how drunk everybody is.
See, there you go. So, but nobody's drunk.
They're not?
Now, you do these... What?
You don't want to hear it, but...
Every night. We did it 7 times. 7 times it killed. It killed at Mohegan Sun.
No, it kills...
What, because I'm a nice guy and people don't want to offend me?
What you two think kills... You guys you're doing stand-up at these nightclubs where people are drunk.
No, but people love it.
We do stand-up in theaters where people aren't drunk.
But there are people who are fans of yours and who want to come see you. Well, you have to start right then. And administer some sort of...
Just so we understand this.
Right.
The people that listen to the program...
Yes.
Are not fans, even though they're the ones that come to the show.
Well,
knowing
but
that he's going to do the night before Christmas.
There are people who don't want to hear the Mother Teresa story anymore.
There
are people who don't want to hear you talk about the effing radio anymore.
There are two.
But there you go, digressing like a drunk at a Maureen Dowd's cocktail party.
There are two. F you. There are 2 or 3 levels of listeners. Yeah. There are listeners who listen and mind their own business and don't contact me and don't make eye contact when we meet in person.
Right.
And they enjoy the program. They're in their Mercedes coming in from Greenwich or whatever they're doing, and they understand. Their job is to listen or to watch and butt out. But then there are a bunch of other people who feel compelled whenever I go somewhere to come up to me and tell me that they're my biggest fan.
Right.
And to be honest, I think that's nice.
Right.
But as I tell them, I have millions of people who like me.
Right.
So,
but the majority of your fans are like that.
I appreciate that you do. Well, please get away from me, or I will call the police.
Come on, this is the war on Christmas right here, man.
Yeah. Then we have. Well, I'm sort of kidding about that. Oh. And then you have the fans who will actually come see us do stuff, like at Mohegan Sun. Did you? I just want to. We did a radio show there,
watching radio,
and the place was sold out of people who wanted to come watch us do that. Those are the people who come see you.
Well, they're a little disturbing, but I agree with that. But
okay,
I mean,
thank you.
Oh, no, but still,
those are people you don't want to be alone with anywhere. So,
but
those are the people on the cruise.
No, but those are the people who put the money down. Like when I'm doing New Year's Eve at Uncle Vinny's, they'll be putting their money down because they want to come see me, and I'll be doing the night before Christmas that night, by the way. And they could probably win a cruise if they're there because that's one of the things that they're going to be doing.
See what I mean?
What?
You're using this just to plug that.
It's called show business. What part of that don't you understand?
Then he gives me he and Tony give me this.
No, not me.
Oh, Rob gives me this present this morning, and it's heavy.
Right.
And I say, is this something I'm going to have to deal with?
The normal human way of accepting a present.
Where does that come from?
But that's
Somebody gives you a gift, and the first thought is it wasn't a baby in the box. It was a gift, man.
But that's Imus for thank you.
Right.
I appreciate it. How thoughtful.
Merry Christmas.
Like we have chess sets everywhere. In Texas and New Mexico, here. And so Deirdre, God bless her, she buys me a chrome, very ornate, elegant chess set at Ralph Lauren's. What do you think that cost? I mean, and I was taking my chess lesson when I received it with David Goodman. It took us about 10 minutes to be able to identify what the pieces were, because it was one of those, you know. And so I didn't act thrilled to death about it because.
Yeah, all right.
But you know what? And she's right. My wife is right. Here's what I realized. And this is almost like an epiphany. Is sometimes it isn't necessary to always be brutally honest, because then you wind up being like what I am sometimes, and that's just an ungrateful a-hole. So
the worst kind of a-hole.
Yeah. So people. So it was nice of you to. You know, I'm cold all the time.
Right.
You got me a little space heater.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for it.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Okay, and I want to point out it works better than the heater we had.
That's what I was told.
Okay.
Very nice.
So not only so I appreciate it, and it works better than the other one.
That's great.
And I want to publicly thank Deirdre, for this beautiful, elegant chess set, which we're going to keep in the office here in New York, and we'll play on that. I can play Wyatt, and he can beat me on that. So I'm happy about that as well.
So you're saying I can do salmonella?
We could have done salmonella 6 times by now.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's do it. Come on.
All right, you can do it.
All right.
Oh,
hey,
wow.
We wish you.
How you doing, Don?
You have music with it?
I wasn't prepared to do it because you told me I wasn't doing it. Otherwise, I would have brought it.
What would the music be?
Just jingle bells in the background.
We don't have any music.
It's all right. You don't need it.
Okay.
Because it's a perennial. It stands alone. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Christmas time, Don.
You're into your character now. That's my.
No, I'm still Rob. How long have you been in show business?
He's doing Dice Clay.
Larry King.
Yeah, I'm doing Rush Limbaugh. I mean, it's Christmas time, and there's no better place to be.
How long is it, by the way?
Christmas is one day a year.
How long is salmonella?
I don't know. I never timed it.
Well, let's time
I'm going to
it now.
go extra slow.
Okay, let's time it now. I got my stopwatch going here. Go.
'Twas the night before Christmas in Sheepshead Bay. The kids was asleep waiting for the big day. The stockings was hung by the furnace with care in hopes that by morning they would all still be there. Me and the skank was getting ready for bed. I wore pajamas. She had a paper bag for her head. Went up on the roof, I heard this big crash. Thought it was a burglar. I was going to kick ass. Went out on the fire escape, looked up in the sky, and what did I see? This freaking fat guy with a red suit and boots that came up to his knees. In the moonlight, he looked just like Dom DeLuise. He had this big sled pulled by these reindeer. He called one of them prancers, so I assumed he was queer. But as he crept off the roof, it became clear to me that this guy was looking to steal my TV. Because over his shoulder, he had a big sack. He came down the stairs while I planned my attack. I waited a second till the time seemed ripe and smacked him in the head, bada bing, with a pipe. He fell to the floor with a groan and a thud. I was kind of surprised I didn't see blood. Instead, he rolled over, looked me right in the eye. When I saw who I hit, I near started to cry. I said, "Hey, yo, Santa, I'm sorry, all right? Not for nothing," he said, "but this just ain't my night. I got lost in the Bronx. I ran over some nuns. Had a near miss by Kennedy. Rudolph's got the runs. I'm out all freaking night. I'm busting my hump. But I can't continue now, not with this bump. So do me a favor, be a real pal. Take over for me. You'll be Santa Claus, Sal." I said, "I'm from Brooklyn. I ain't right for the part." But he told me, Santa Claus comes from the heart.
Oh, my God.
He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Stop out of every house, except for the Jews. Because that's regulation. You got to pass over them. Thanks a lot. Shut up. I got in a suit and stepped onto the sleigh, wondering why reindeers all smelled that way. Took off on my mission, didn't want to be late, while old St. Nick spent the night hosing my date. That night I was Santa, bringing kids joy and bliss, and if you don't believe me, then yo, jingle this. Since then, I've been with him every year in the cold, riding shotgun with Santa, because he's fat and he's old. I'm his #1 helper. I've been deputized, so on this Christmas Eve, don't just be surprised. If you hear a voice say really loud and abrupt, Merry Christmas to all. Thanks a lot. Shut up.
Where are you going?
I gotta go put the cape on him like James Brown.
He's out of here.
Where are you going, Rob?
You can't do no more.
Dramatic ending, is to drop the mic in the cape.
Well, let me ask you this. Can't you come up with a better rhyme than Dom DeLuise?
Oh, my God.
Is that a recognizable figure?
Well,
He's
to
an
me.
icon. It needed something to rhyme with knees.
Okay.
In your character now?
Well, that's good. Well, we didn't have time for sports news of the business report. Harry Reid now upset about the Washington Redskins name. After all, now he's decided.
Where's he been? Hello?
God, what a phony little. Oh my God.
They're called what?
What? What? Really? Harry
Reid
Reid been in Congress for 109 years.
They're in Washington too.
Right. Taking business news, any quickly?
Yes, futures are up, and Katie Couric's daytime talk show is done over after 2 seasons. Girl was making $10 million a year.
Time for sports, sponsored by Peerless Spoilers. Here with that is Warner Wolf. Warner.
Morning, Iron Man. 35-year-old Kobe Bryant just came back from Achilles tendon surgery, broke a bone in his left kneecap against the Grizzlies Tuesday night. May be back in February. No surprise, the #1 selling NBA jersey in the United States, LeBron James, #6. The injured Kobe Bryant's #24 was second. And the Knicks' Andrea Bargnani was third.
Oh, get out of here,
Hey, come on.
Warner, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, Warner. I know you're Jewish, but I don't care.
No, what? I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah. And Bernie's got a briefing, and that's sponsored by My Pillow. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning, boss. Anchorman 2 co-star Christina Applegate, a.k.a. Kelly Bundy, on with Conan last night talking Christmas. Take a listen.
What about Christmas music? Is there a lot of Christmas? Are you into Christmas music? Because I find that people are very divided. Some people love it, and some people kind of can't stand it.
I can take it for a minute. I always find they're strange lyrics sometimes that don't make any sense to me. Like, the one that freaks me out is I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Because she's such a skank, right? I mean, what a skank.
Because you know what? That used to confuse me, because I've had people later on explain it to me, but when I was...
and how do they know the answer? Because it's not in the lyrics. There's no indication that it's Daddy dressed up as Santa Claus. No, it's her being a skanky hoe, is what it is.
Wow. She's adorable, isn't she?
Certainly is, boss.
Speaking of all that, here's Dice Clay, and I Saw Mommy. Well, morning, Dice.
Morning, I'm over here now. I saw Mommy doing Santa Claus like the filthy animal she is underneath the Christmas tree where you could plainly see Mommy giving Santa some gaggy. Then I heard Mama tell old Santa Claus that she wasn't fully satisfied. She was laying on her back with her hands on Santa's sack. Mama did old Santa Claus last night. Oh, I heard Mommy telling Santa Claus that he wasn't really doing it right. She got one of Santa's elves to get some batteries off the shelf and stuck them in this buzzing thing that she used on herself. Then I heard Mama tell old Santa Claus, I always thought that you were just a queer, but being naughty sure feels nice, and I wish it could be twice, but Santa only comes but once a year. Oh!
Andrew Dice Clay here on the Imus in the Morning program. Please welcome now to the program one of the premier sports announcers in America. He's the lead announcer for ABC Sports for basketball. Does a bunch of other stuff. Mike Breen. Good morning, Mr. Breen.
Howdy, partner. You've had a profound impact on my life. You know that. And I don't say that lightly.
Sure.
I mean, throughout everything, your support and your guidance.
Yes.
And after listening to the show the past couple of weeks, hearing about Joe Beaver.
Joe Beaver.
That's what I said.
Okay.
What'd you think I said?
I don't know. I thought you said Joe Beer.
You can't hear anyway.
Okay. Justin Bieber.
Trevor Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm giving up NBA broadcasting.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be the voice of bull riding.
Well, they don't do bull riding. That's a different deal.
ESPN's going to start telecasting. And I'm your man. That's right.
Well, okay. That's good.
You know, I was in the car, and you were doing highlights of one of those, playing the video of one of those competitions.
The roping.
It was the roping. And I was listening. Obviously, I couldn't see it because I was listening to the radio. But I felt like I was there. I mean, it just grabbed me in a way that I've never been grabbed before.
Sure.
Yeah. And so I'm changing. I called the ESPN executives, told them no more basketball, and this is where I'm going.
Okay.
No more LeBron James, no more Kobe Bryant. It's Trevor and the Beeve.
Well, Joe Beaver doesn't really compete anymore. I mean, once in a while he does, but he's
still the man.
8-time world champion. Won 2 gold medals, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Have you mentioned that before? Michael Jordan doesn't compete anymore, but he's still the man.
A lot of people in the building pretty excited that you're here, by the way.
Yeah. I know. You even hugged me.
Yeah. You forced me to hug you.
No, I didn't.
You wanted it. Okay, I did hug you, maybe.
These are a lot of dear old friends here. It's nice to be welcomed with open arms.
You know, Connell, or as we call him, not Charles.
That's like another good one I meant. Thank you for that.
So how are you?
Everything's great.
Where'd you get the hat?
I got it in San Antonio.
It's not a great hat, but it's not a terrible hat.
You actually asked me legitimate questions out here, and you're asking me who makes the hat? Where'd you get the hat?
Of course it does.
I don't know. It was lying around the house.
Where'd it get blocked?
Can I take it off now?
Yeah, of course.
Halloween. That's the way you block it.
Oh,
when you lie it down like I have mine, upside down.
Okay.
So you don't ruin the brim.
That's important.
Thank
you for doing salmonella, by the way.
Yeah.
I was forced into that. You like that?
Fantastic.
Why?
Because I need to hear it every year, and I'm belly laughing every time I've heard it. I must have heard it 100 times.
Okay. What part of it is really funny for you?
The way Rob delivers every line.
Mm-hmm.
It's magical.
Okay. You want to talk some basketball?
I do.
What's the deal with Kobe Bryant? What do you think?
He's fine. He's going to be back.
He will.
You remember last year when Pau Gasol was complaining? He told Pau, he's put on your big boy pants.
Right.
Well, Kobe's going to put on his big boy pants. I guarantee you he plays again this season. He is the most competitive athlete in any sport, I think, who's ever played.
By the way, Warner Wolf says that it's lucky to get back in 6 weeks, right, Warner?
Yeah, I can't picture that.
Yeah, so.
Well, the last professional basketball player that Warner talked to was George Mikan.
I don't think
so. I don't think we need to go to Warner for that.
Slater Martin.
I just thought I'd point out that that's what. Hey, did you hear about the Knicks game? Now, Mike does the Knicks games as well with one of the nicest people in America, Walt Clyde Frazier.
Hall of Famer, legend.
Lovely guy. And we've had him on the show a couple times. He's always he's a moderately entertaining fellow. And they had a game the other night, but apparently you weren't there. Maybe you were doing the Heat and the Pacers or something.
Correct.
Okay. But did you hear about the timeout deal?
Yes, I heard about the well, I did the timeout game. Are you talking about the Andrea Bargnani game?
Right. Bargnani's 3 you're talking about.
Oh, you did that. That's right. We played that. You did the timeout game.
Yes, I did.
So what should have happened there?
Well, coaches have different reasons for how they execute that final play. Some don't want to let the defense set up. They don't want a timeout so the opponent can put in their best defensive players to defend the final play.
Right.
So they say, just play. Don't give a timeout. Don't let them set up their defense.
Right.
And that's obviously what Mike Woodson was thinking, or perhaps he just wasn't thinking.
Okay.
But it didn't quite work out.
Well, the coach says, Woodson, who everybody tells me is a pretty good coach.
Very good coach.
Okay. He seemed to suggest that he screwed up. So.
Right. Yeah. That's what we like, when you admit your mistakes.
Yes,
admit you have a problem.
Yes, we do, Mike.
And when you admit it's time to go.
Yeah, we want that too. Yes,
but I'm not being specific about it.
No, good. No. Thank you very much for that.
Not at all.
So, should the Knicks re-sign? Are you allowed to comment on the Knicks, or are you?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Should they re-sign Melo?
Absolutely.
Oh, they should.
Yes. Need to get some better pieces around them. But right now, one of the reasons they're having their problems is Tyson Chandler has hardly played. He just came back the last game. Now, he's not their best player, but he's their most indispensable player. It's like here on the show.
Why won't he play?
You're the star of the show.
Sure.
But if Connell's not here, the show goes nowhere.
Yeah, that's a great point.
He's the most indispensable part.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I relate everything in my life in basketball to this show.
So Connell is the Tyson Chandler of the Imus morning program?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But you're also the Tyson Chandler because Chandler is a leader.
Sure.
I mean, he's one of the best leaders I've ever seen.
Much better.
And what it is, it's all about, for him, it's positive reinforcement. It's encouragement. And it reminded me when I worked here. You could have a bad day, but that was okay with you. You were there to pick us up and tell us it was okay. And tell us that tomorrow's another day. Just try your best. That's all I want from you. I remember you saying that to me time and time again.
Before you were fired?
Well, the seventh time. Right.
It's 18 till the hour. Talking with Mike Breen here on the Imus morning program. The Olympics is being broadcast on NBC.
Correct.
But sometimes they hire people from other networks, right?
Yes, they've done that quite a bit. I worked for them for a number of years after I went over to ESPN. They were very kind to let me continue working.
Okay, so will you do any Winter Olympic stuff?
No, I burned too many bridges.
You what?
I burned too many bridges there.
HR. No doubt.
Well,
no, I can't. The Winter Olympics I can't do because it's during the NBA season, and it's hard to leave for a couple of weeks during that.
When does the Winter Olympics start? Do you know, either one of you?
February.
That's right.
I'd ask Warner, but Warner, do you know when they start?
February.
Okay.
When Kobe Bryant may come back.
Like it's the first time you ever heard it.
You are such an idiot. So, are you a fan of any other sport?
Ski jumping.
Do you like football?
I love football.
Hey,
it's been a rough season. I'm a big Giant fan.
Oh, you are?
And I'm a huge Met fan. And this is the year. It's going to be one of the great sports stories of all time when the Mets win the World Series.
And who are they going to do that with?
The players that are on their roster. By the way, today's David Wright's birthday.
Happy birthday, David.
Can we sing happy birthday to David?
Could.
If you may, if you'd like.
Awesome.
I don't want to do it myself.
Well.
No, we'll do it.
Well, I'm not a Mets fan, so. No, are you?
I'm a Met fan. Oh, sure.
Oh, yes.
You're a fan who was ever in first place.
Connell has gone to the game and actually worn a jersey.
No.
Your child did.
Don't get into that. Of course, yeah. No, I hate jerseys as much as you do. No, he wears a jersey, yeah.
All right, what's the age limit that you have where you have to stop wearing a jersey with someone else's name on the back? We need to set an age limit.
12.
30.
12? No. 12?
12.
All right, how about when you start wearing your baseball cap backwards? That's another thing.
You can do that anytime.
Anytime?
Yeah.
Yeah, the I-man's tough. He could.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like wearing a ponytail when you're 50.
I love all these guys my age in Santa Fe and other places whose hair is gray as mine is, and yours, but you're much younger, and they grow ponytails. That always looks really cool. So,
what's the plan for the hair now for you?
Plan.
Do you have a plan?
No, I don't. I'm just happy I have it.
He asked himself, what would Doris Kearns Goodwin do?
That's funny, Mike. So, have you ever seen James Dolan's band?
I have.
And?
They're actually very good.
Oh, man.
In fact, it's the best band I've ever heard.
We tried to get him on the program. He won't come on.
Oh, I wonder why.
Well, that's your loss because it's unbelievable. The musicians, the songwriting, the singing. It's extraordinary.
This is the guy who owns he owns the Madison Square Garden. He owns the Knicks. Does he also own the Rangers?
Yes, he owns all of that. And basically, he's my boss. Yeah. And so, but I don't say this because he's my boss. Jethro Tull used to be my favorite. Not anymore.
Okay.
Now, look out one direction.
It's JD and the Straight Shots.
That's the name of the group?
Yes.
Okay. And what does Mr. Dolan do? He sings?
He sings and plays guitar.
He does.
All kidding aside, they're actually very good.
I've heard they are just dreadful.
Well, you've heard wrong. Let's go to a concert sometime, you and me. We'll put on our cowboy hats.
You know, they open for the Eagles.
They did it all summer. Or as you so cleverly said, the Eagleese.
Yeah. You're an idiot. He's going to win again this time, I guess? That's one question I guess I should ask.
No, not definitely.
Oh, really? Who's better?
Indiana is fantastic, even though they lost to him the other night. And you've got two teams in the West that can beat them in San Antonio and Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City was my team. Warner talked me into picking them a couple of seasons ago, and of course, they didn't get it done. So,
Well, they had an injury last year, but they've got the best young player in the game because he's younger than LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Not only is he a fantastic player, he's high character. He's everything the league should be. So,
how about the Westbrook? What's his name?
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, how's he?
He's fantastic. Another great player.
And you still teamed up with Jeff Van Gundy?
I am.
Okay. So there was rumor he might be coach again. No.
No, he's going to broadcast.
Whatever happened to his fat brother?
His brother is doing some broadcasting. They'll both eventually coach again.
They will.
Right. But they've proposed.
You just said. I asked you, and you bear witness to this. I said, is Jeff Van Gundy going to coach again? You said no. So then I talked about his fat brother, and then you said they're both going to coach again. Which is it?
Neither one will coach again. But I think there's a good chance that eventually they might be coaching a team.
Right. Okay. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. What's the matter?
Nothing.
What's the matter? Okay. Do you? What's your youngest child?
Matthew.
Do I know Matthew? See the kid out there? He came to the ranch.
He's the one that came to the ranch.
A very nice young man.
He's a good boy.
Okay. How old is he?
16. Okay. He wants to come to the ranch again.
He's welcome, as are you, anytime.
Okay.
Do you? Does he wait up for Santa?
No, he stopped waiting for Santa. But he still believes.
Of course, he believes.
Right. As do I.
We all do.
I would hope you do. Oh, yeah. Do you leave anything for Santa?
Always.
What do you leave?
I'm the milk and cookies kind.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, my kids used to leave vodka, but and an 8-ball, but they don't do that anymore.
When's the last time you had a drink?
July 17th, 1987.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, suggested that it was vodka. It's almost sexual in nature.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. 100 proof.
Probably left that for Connell.
Want to go and get some now?
No.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Probably still recovering. Probably still recovering.
No tongue, Connell.
Whatever. Really,
nothing wrong with that these days.
Mike, I missed you.
But you always have
Unfortunate.
Let's talk Fordham stuff.
Vinny from Queens coming up here on the
Hate you, Lou.
Imus in the Morning program, a spirited edition of...
How are the Rams doing? Oh, they're so good. Look at the football team.
You're such an idiot.
Let's go back and
let
join
this happen
up.
to me?
What?
Let's go to White.
Happen to me?
Let's go to White
Yes,
Castle.
because it's well deserved.
Right on Fordham Road. Let's meet up.
5 till they are.
Imus in the morning.
Did you see the
So what? So what?
So I just got an email from Kevin.
Oh, that's good.
Huh?
And?
Well, I still should read it. He's a smart guy, you know that? I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The hell? What was that?
Well, here's the email.
What was that?
I agree with him. That's my. When I send mail, it makes a cricket sound because I set it to do that.
Okay.
Don't you? I agree with him.
I actually do. Yeah, I know what he means. Yeah,
So I already talked to him about it.
I know what he means.
You guys want to see?
Sure. Pass it around. Take one and pass it down.
Oh, I don't think he's right. He is right. So I miss Borneman.
Yeah.
Because he always had observations that were good.
Like that, yeah. Helping out the eye man.
That's right.
Very astute.
Yeah.
Deep.
But he was only doing what I told him to do, so it's
Right.
not his fault. It's
Right.
mine.
But still,
If we have to assign fault.
that's a great observation.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Be unlike us to have to assign fault.
Abe Gorn. I always liked him.
Abe was good.
God, I knew him a long time. I was in his wedding.
You don't remember it, though. He had to tell you, right?
You know the picture's right next to my house. So I go to the dentist yesterday. Dr. Cho.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the 7th floor. Dr. Benjamin, my regular dentist, I've been going to for 30 years. He's on the 10th floor. So I need this implant. So he said, well, we're going to have to deaden it. So they stick a needle in the roof of your mouth.
Ah.
How do you think that feels?
Not good. Never.
Oh, my God.
The worst place. Well,
they have to give you 4 or 5 shots. So they do that. How are you, Bernie?
Great, Chief.
And then he has to take the tooth out. But part of it broken off, you know.
Yeah.
I realize this is a lot of information you don't need, but
it's very important.
Slice of eye life right here.
Around the holidays.
So then they have to put 3 stitches in it.
Yeah.
It's already killing me. So he says, this is really amusing. I said, what am I going to do for pain?
Yep. The all-important question.
Yeah. And he says, well, Tylenol ought to do it.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
And even the nurse laughed. I said, oh, that's really a good one. I said, let me tell you something here, bozo. Why don't you fire up that pad of yours and start rocking some Vicodin for the eye man?
Let's get this done.
What, are you nuts?
Tylenol.
Tylenol?
No.
Listen here, Dr. Schwartz.
Man.
What do you think I'm here for?
Oh, my God. I'm going to go through all this and not score some Vicodin?
I don't even have teeth.
That's what I came for here. Pull them all out, but give me that stuff.
These teeth are fake.
Why do you think I broke my tooth?
Sit there with a hammer.
So then the nurse says, very nice people, by the way.
Of course.
She hands me this whole bag of stuff. I said, what's this? She said, well, that's an ice pack and gauze and some other stuff. I said, there's not a chance on God's earth that I'd ever use any of that.
None of it, no.
So please don't send me home with a balloon, a new toothbrush, and this crap.
They always do that, too.
And a lollipop. So I say I don't want it.
What adult uses any of that stuff they give you at the dentist?
Nobody.
Nobody does.
So I left it there, and people in the waiting room, of course, are yucking it up.
How about this coloring book?
So on the way home, I say to Bryant, you know, this is bleeding. I should have taken the gauze. Well, then I had to have Megan go get gauze.
Oh, God.
They hate you on this show.
No, they don't.
You know, Charles was the leading indicator. It's going to be you alone in a closet with a microphone attached to nothing before this is over.
In a closet.
In your BVDs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Well, if I don't see any, have you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Unless you don't celebrate that, and then whatever. But that's it. So I'm going to Texas. There's mine. And Wyatt had a fever last night. His mother told me, she woke me up around midnight. It was 104. Pretty high, isn't it?
Jeez.
Yeah, kids get high fevers.
Yeah, that's high, though.
That's high.
But he's apparently better now, so we're going to go. And Zach's goes to the University of Texas, and he came in. What's today?
Friday.
He might have come in Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And what's great is I can make Zach get coffee for me, and he'll get it immediately, where Wyatt now will argue with me about it. And Did was pretty good.
That's what's great, all right.
Some sons are harder to train than others.
Yeah.
Good for Christmas.
But Zach just jumps up like somebody electrocuted him.
So Zach is the Red Heeler and Wyatt is the Norfolk Terrier.
Yeah, Wyatt's, well, that's fine.
Oh, it sure is.
Anyway, coming up, Vinny from Queens, in which we talk sports with Warner Wolf, Gunzelman, Lou Rufino, and Tony Powell. So.
And Warner Wolf.
Didn't I say Warner?
Yeah, you did, I think.
Oh.
No?
I thought I did.
You thought it
Well,
definitely.
play the tape back.
Kind of an interesting conversation this morning with Bo Dietl over that whole Wolf of Wall Street, wasn't it, Dagan? Well, maybe I could turn your mic on and you could
It was
talk.
fascinating.
So when this guy was operating, what's the guy's name?
Jordan Belfort.
So when he was operating, did everybody know when he was operating that he was just a flat-out crook?
Generally speaking, the firm was called Stratton Oakmont. The type of business that they were in smelled bad and was sleazy. They were taking these companies public. The executives like Belfort, would own shares of the company. They would take them from the owner of the company, and it's called a pump and dump. That you'd sell all this stock to these grandma and grandpa, and you pump the stock up with this very aggressive army of brokers. And then when the stock went up, you would dump your shares, drive the stock down, and then grandma and grandpa were left with worthless pieces of paper, essentially.
Okay.
Yep. But the most interesting part of this is he was neck deep in hookers, had an incredibly hot wife. He had a raging cocaine addiction, and then he was addicted to Quaaludes as well. So that's basically the movie.
So and that footage that we were watching on the Fox Business Network, that was him, right?
That was the actual Jordan Belfort, yes.
Oh.
And he's going to make millions of dollars off of this movie.
Why?
Because he wrote the book that it was based on.
What about the Son of Sam laws?
Yeah, ill-gotten gains.
Yeah, how about that?
I don't think that applies to him. He went to jail after the fact for something else, I think.
And then they hired Bo Dietl to keep the mob from moving in on him, right?
Rocco Day and Rocco Knight were his bodyguards.
A little protection.
Yeah.
And then Gasparino, yesterday on the Fox Business Network, tried to make Bo look bad, as though Bo should have let the mob bump him off. Well, they didn't want to bump him off. They just wanted to cash in, so. Gasparino's about a half a creep. Anyway, you got any business news coming up?
Oh, yeah, baby.
Looks like Governor Patterson.
Pardon me?
He looks like David Patterson a little bit, Gasparino. It's neither here nor there, but it's just.
Yeah, I hear you.
Observation.
What's coming up?
Economy's growing fast. Giddy up.
That's going to be your deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be short. I'm keeping it brief because it's all about Christmas today.
Warner, what do you have coming up?
Well, the big story is Kobe Bryant. He broke a bone above his kneecap, and they say he's going to be out for only 6 weeks. I don't know, man. I find that hard to believe. That's okay for somebody else, but a guy's got to run up and down the court full speed. It's got to be longer than that.
Well, how's he going to jump up in the air?
Well, there's another one. Yeah. That's right. Man, this is February, March, or who knows? Maybe we're seeing the end of Kobe Bryant.
They were talking about that on your ESPN, all of them.
That's right. I mean, coming off Achilles tendon surgery, broke his wrist 2 years ago.
But Breen seemed to think that he was going to be fine.
Yeah.
That was the impression I got from Mike Breen.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's good for him. Longer Kobe's in the league. Right?
Time. Wait a minute.
It didn't take long.
It didn't take long for you to throw Breen under the bus.
Oh, I thought this was Vinny from Queens.
You're saying that Breen took the position that he took because it suits him?
Sounds that way.
Might be influenced by that, yeah. More games than
This
Kobe.
is outrageous.
That is really
More
grassy.
stars.
You really are. You are a Gasparino-like creep.
More stars, the better for him, right?
All right, Barney, what do you have coming up?
I have a little more on the NSA hacking the royal people's phones, and a lot of late-night humor coming for you, Chief.
Oh, well, that's great. And Andrew Dice Clay's here.
I'm over here now.
Nice to see you, Tony Powell.
Hey.
Dice, and we had Salmonella on earlier this morning.
Yeah.
With this dreadful.
I love that guy.
He's great.
Brings a tear to your eye.
Oh, yeah, every time.
There's Dom DeLuise. It's got to be somebody else somewhere.
Unlike you to get stuck on something like that.
Yes, except for the Jews.
Yep.
Oh, God.
No, man, we say Merry Christmas. I mean, that's really false.
What's that?
Well, that the Jewish people are offended. That's bogus, man.
Oh, no, I didn't suggest
No, I didn't mean you.
Warner.
I'm just saying, no.
Where?
No.
No. But that's in the Salmonella thing that Rob does.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's the joke.
Right.
Because Santa is giving instructions to Sal on how to be Santa.
Now we're explaining it.
And he's saying stop at all the houses except for the Jews.
Like Passover, right.
Uh-huh.
Very clever, too, Passover.
Argument about a fictional character.
Hello?
On the airwaves.
Hey, I'm in.
And then we had the Duck Dynasty deal.
Yeah.
And they're all trying to turn it into a First Amendment right. Well, that's not about that. Of course, he can say what he wants. Plus, he can think what he wants. But it's just like if somebody says something to you that you don't like, you could say, well, you have a First Amendment right to say that, so I'm not going to do anything about it. Or you can punch him in the mouth or whatever, or sue him or whatever it is you might do.
Right.
So the reality is that A&E and the sponsors, I mean, it's their. Should it be that way? Well, probably not. But that is the way it is. So it's. I mean,
right. He works there at their discretion, so it's up to them. Understood. Yep.
Nobody's preventing him from saying anything. But it's vile and idiotic. It would have been fine if you just stuck with, but then way too much information. Well, what aspect of it he didn't like. Oh, man. And another thing, when you say something, I know something about this. When you say something stupid that you shouldn't have said, if you were serious, you can't say that you were kidding when we can see that you weren't kidding. That's just being a coward. Or if you were kidding, for example, with me, then you simply say that, but then you recognize that it was hideously inappropriate, and you apologize for it, and you don't whine about what happens. Because if you don't want, to have to deal with Al Sharpton or whoever it is out there, then don't say it in the first place. So you have that option. Don't say idiotically offensive things if you don't want to deal with the consequences. So it's not about the First Amendment. It's about not being an idiot. Here's Connell with the news.
All right, man. We had a piece of news that just came in. Apparently, the Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid's in the hospital this morning. Just have a statement from his office that said he didn't feel well, and as a precaution, they decided to go to the hospital, conducted some tests. The office says everything's normal. He's alert, resting, feeling better, and the doctors have asked him to stay in the hospital for observation, so he won't be working today. That's all we have. Senator Harry Reid in the hospital. New defense bill.
He now has announced that thinks the Redskins should change their name.
Right.
After, how long has he been in Congress?
A long.
How long has he been in Washington, D.C.?
A long time.
And all of a sudden now he finds it offensive? Oh, my God.
He's in the hospital.
Well, I hope he gets okay.
He grew a pair and it hurts, and he went to the hospital to check it out.
Probably what it is, yeah.
But we hope he's all right. New defense bill, Iman, passed in the Congress and includes changes in how the military deals with sexual assault. So this would strip military commanders of their ability to overturn jury convictions. It would require a civilian review if a commander doesn't prosecute a case for some reason, and it also requires individuals convicted of sexual assault to be thrown out of the military. Then Target's dealing with angry customers after all that data about 40 million credit and debit cards stolen. Started Black Friday. We had it as a big story the other day, and customers have been complaining through the Target website and also the call centers.
Pretty concerning, I guess, that it would happen at such a big place like Target.
That's pretty crazy. I'll have to monitor my bank account.
They say, Target, that they fixed the problem, have not disclosed, though, exactly how the breach occurred. And then Dennis Rodman is apparently holding tryouts for a North Korean team that'll face a dozen NBA veterans at an exhibition game they're holding on Kim Jong-un's birthday next month. Now, Rodman says he has heard some bad things about Mr. Kim, but he still likes him.
I'm very proud to say he's my friend because he hasn't done anything to put a damper or say any negative things about my country or this and that.
A damper.
What an idiot.
I mean, this is just...
He hasn't done what?
What?
Don't need to even add comment to that, is there?
16 after the hour, time for business news. Here with that is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. The Dow.
Bring him in to run the Knicks.
Makes Paris Hilton sound like Charles Crownhammer.
That'd be great. Get him in for Dolan.
Yeah, we'll run the Knicks.
Sorry, Dagan.
No, more Dennis Rodman, the better. Hey, the 3.6% is what we're expecting for the economy to grow at in the third quarter. Came in better than expected. This is the final reading. 4.1% was your annual pace of economic growth in the third quarter. That's the fastest clip since late 2011, baby. The futures are up. Dow could set yet another all-time high today.